go ahead and mute this so you don't have to listen to. Think that's it? Yes. Pretty sure. Give us a few secs to get set up. We're still a little discombobulated. Let you know, if you think about that word, exactly what is to combobulate, and why would somebody want to diss a person combobulating? Food for thought when you haven't had your cup of tea yet. Sometimes I wonder. I wonder if, yeah, I wonder if our humor is a result of just jagged thought processes, or if we're funny. Our late wife always said that we were only funny when we were trying not to be. So, yeah, judge for yourself. So, yeah, kind of a early morning situation. Yesterday we were just so tired. Um, just a lot of pain and a lot of pain, and it wears on you and it saps your energy. So let me get things arranged here, and we will say hello to whomever might be there. Morning medicine, excuse us. Wake and bake, baby, wake and bake. Okay, air just kicked on, so hopefully you guys can hear me. It can hear us, rather, over us coughing up a lung and the air conditioner kicking. We also have several cats in the room with us, both of them. No, I'm not going to give you cat bombs, because then I would have to move the semi-carefully arranged view here, which I'm going to have to do anyway, because things that aren't straight bug the crap out of us. And there we go. Ooh, hey, looking good. So, hopefully, we want live chat and live chat. Hopefully, there we go. Okay, for whatever reason, our tablet uses Wi-Fi, and it seems to be a little spotty this morning. So, okay, it looks like it's behaving itself now, but it is on the power cord. So if we hold it up, there's like that. So let's see who all is here. Let's see here. Doom G8. We're just going to call you Hound, if that's okay with you. Hello, rather, you Chase. Hi, Chase, unless you tell us otherwise. We'll try to remember that. Good morning, Roses. Good old-fashioned cuppa. Yeah, in our case, it's tea, Earl Grey, hot. I wonder how many people started drinking Earl Grey tea because of Patrick Stewart and Jean-Luc Picard, probably a fair number. I know that's when we first started it, but then it was for years with the bagged tea, and then Percival finally got us to do tea the proper way because he called the American stuff crap, which he's absolutely correct. If it's in a bag, it's oh, that's not tea. So yeah, he changed our minds on that. Have to admit. So hi dragons, Naomi, hello. Sorry we didn't answer your DM. It's just when we may pop on like that, it's just because we're checking something else, or our daughter DMs us a lot, so we're just making sure it's not heard during the middle of the night. Although, yeah, we can be up late because of the pain, and just because, as we've said, we're night owls anyway. So sorry if we don't immediately respond. Just assume that we've rolled over and fallen back into whatever nightmare that we've been having. Although, actually, last night was fairly quiet. It's one of these where it's like our wife always asks us, excuse us, so how'd you sleep? And it's like, if we don't remember any nightmares or sleep paralysis, it's a good thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Trying to think of whether or not we've had a pleasant dream, and if so, when the last time that was. I'm coming up a blank. Anyway, so Naomi, hello. There's that. Captain Kronos. I'm sorry, but I have to say Captain Kronos. It just kind of begs for that. Great username. Welcome to the channel, and happy Halloween to, well, it's not quite Halloween here in the U.S. just yet. But tomorrow, another 18 hours or so, but probably where you guys are. So yeah, happy Halloween, or whatever you may term it in your culture and or belief system. For us, it's Halloween or All Hallows Eve. We kind of a little more on the traditional side there. Actually, there's a poem from a book that we read about that called, let's see, which one was it? Grey Wolf, which is a part of a series of great books by Susan Cooper called The Dark is Rising. There's a little poem in there about on the Day of the Dead, when the year 2 dies, is the opening refrain, which is Halloween Eve, because in the old calendar, November 1st was actually considered to be the new year, the beginning of the new year. Had less to do with calendar and more to do with seasons, but there's your useless trivia fact for the day. So today it's appropriate. So Captain Kronos, happy Halloween to you guys as well. Hello, Blue Rose. Seeing the usual crowd come in here. No need to apologize, Moot. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Alicia. Good to see you. Will's mom, hello there. It's football Sunday. Yes, we know. It's okay. Go and do your guys in tights chasing a ball around a field for multiple millions of dollars. It's we understand. You're a sports nut, so tune in as you can. Houndoom, or yeah, I'm sorry, Caden Chase. Okay. Chase the Hound. Sorry, mental mnemonics to make sure that we remember you properly. We do try to remember who might be up front and who you folks are, but gotta love trivia though. Well, you don't want to start us on that because we are a font of useless trivia. Back when Jeopardy was, well, we grew up with Jeopardy. What are we talking about? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? There we go. Back in those days, if you remember, we always joked that we should go on the show. My wife kind of tried to get us to do that, first wife anyway, but it just never worked out. But we do know a lot of useless trivia, probably half of it wrong by this point in history. It's like 2/3 of the countries that we learned in Europe don't even exist anymore. We found an old globe from the Cold War era, and we're showing it to our daughter. It's like, and what's this country? Well, that country no longer exists. Strange times, and there goes our smoothie on the floor. We'll be, oh shit. See, the trouble is that we have to roll everywhere. Hang on. Un momento, por favor. Oof. Oof. Convenient white sheet is convenient. There we go. Just have to make sure to remember to wash that later, so we will put it on top of the cat. Okay. Whoop. Let's lock this into portrait mode. Zoop. Portrait, portrait, portrait. Where are you? I get the feeling that I'm probably going to be getting a washcloth or something. It's all right. I already got it, guys. Where the hell is the auto rotate? It's a Samsung tablet, and it's just they put weird stuff in weird places. There it is. Okay, finally. Okay, so there. Let's go ahead and catch up here. Let's see here. Got a list trivia though. Naomi, the French version of it was such crap. I didn't even know there was a French version. Interesting. Yeah, so did you guys steal that from us or did we steal it from you? I don't think it really makes much difference anymore. Sometimes you guys do things a lot better. It's like your version of The Office and our version of The Office, two completely different things, two different kinds of humor. UK, your guys' humor over there is a lot drier, a lot drier and a lot more subtle than ours. We're there with a paintbrush. You're there like. Anyway. Okay, so let's see. Comes the games, though. I'll blurt out so many random facts. Yeah. See you joining the stream. How's your brother doing? Okay, make sure that you're self-caring as you're caring as well. We know that we remind you all the times. Come to think of it, I don't think we've seen Starry Girl pop into the stream yet. Hopefully we'll see her where we'll be able to check in on her with her plan to get out of her situation as it is now. Okay, so let's see. Rose is saying, I own a Cold War era National Nat Geo map of the peoples and cultures of USSR, and it's surreal. Yeah, no kidding. It's like they spend all this time stuffing this stuff into our heads as kids, and world's different now. It's like, seriously, if you were to sit us down, in front of one of those maps that they used to when we were kids, that, it's just have the shapes without the names, we probably could not fill in half of them. Probably 2/3 not, because it's just tough to keep up, and your priorities shift around. Yeah, it's weird. So let's see here. Captain Kronos, just found you guys maybe a few weeks ago after I watched Moon Knight and wanted some perspectives on the show. Super glad I did. Your channel just feels very homey and comfortable. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. I'm not sure that we're really going to get many new folks on tonight. Maybe so. So let me finish catching up questions here. And for future reference, you can basically assume that whenever we're appearing on camera, unless we state otherwise or it's obvious otherwise, it's generally Chris and Data, since we're basically co-blended 90% of the time. So if we're saying I, just assume it's Chris talking. You'll know if Data creeps in because he'll suddenly start babbling really technical, scientific sounding stuff. Otherwise, if it's just me, it's just me. But anyway, yes, welcome to the channel. We're glad you found us. Yeah, Moon Knight was kind of a real one-off type of a situation for us. We don't really do reviews like that, although some of the comments, they were like, please do more reviews, because it's like what the hell did they say? Something about cutting apart the bad guys and the elegant way that we do it. Anyway, so maybe if something DID related comes along later on, we might review it. But we have so much that we do with the channel as it is. Dragons came in. Hello, Dragons. Have an appointment Wednesday to sign your lease for your new apartment. Then we can go back on our testosterone. Congrats there, Dragons. That's great news. Some good positive news for the chat this morning. Let's keep it going. Okay, so yeah, Captain Kronos. Let's see, how many we got? 9. If more people come in later on, we can go back over it. So, Captain Kronos, pay attention. Captain Kronos, pay attention. Here are the rules. No, again, welcome to the channel. Our channel is a little bit different. Again, the Moon Knight thing was kind of a one-off. The way we look at it is our channel is an open forum, not only for us, but also for you viewers. So on our channel, you're going to find various types of content. You're going to find what we call our informational or our heavy duty. We don't like to use the term educational because that implies that we are accredited educators, and we're not. We're patients. We are not medical physicians. We do not have a degree. We do not have a PhD after our name. We're just patients. We're messed up, but we do data rather, does thoroughly source all of the informational content that we give to you guys. We always drop those links in the description, so you can feel free to go and read all of the techno jargon babble yourself. But so we'll have the informational content. Usually, there we do it in multiple parts, generally at least a part one and a part two. Where in the part one, we show you a recording of video. Throughout our journey, we've been taking video snippets and, just video vlogging for our own use, as well as some therapy videos and recordings for our therapist. And so we will generally show you a clip that deals with that shows us dealing with the particular issue that we're going to cover. We do this basically because it's a lot easier. A picture is worth 1,000 words. It's a lot easier to show you guys what it's like and what this experience is like, and how we're going through it, rather than it is to explain it later, which we're going to do anyway, or Data will do anyway. And then the part two will be the meat and bones of the topic, which is where, let's see, for example, the last one that we just did was nightmares, sleep paralysis, and DID. We show a journal entry that we made for our therapist early on. We are constantly plagued by nightmares and sleep paralysis episodes. Our sleep pattern is just completely wrecked. So we showed a clip of the journal entry that we sent to her, where we're talking about it, and then in the second part we go into it, what causes it, what it is, how we can minimize the symptoms, how it ties into DID. So those are our informational episodes. Then we also have Percival will do his things. He reads both small novellas. The first one that he did was The Forgotten Door, and we make it into audio productions. We add in sound effects, and he does different voices, and certain alters will pinch hit for characters within it. So check that out. Percival and the rest of us also produce what is called Little Stories, which is a safe space where he reads little stories, mostly little golden books, to the littles. We wanted the littles to have a safe space, regular programming that they can tune into as well, and provide them a safe space within, the realms of the internet, as it was, or space and time on the cell phone, where they can always come, have a spot. He's very gentle. Think Mr. Rogers for DID littles. That's what that's all about. So we just put one out, the last of a series of 3 that he had recorded way back in March. This one was Carrie the Fire Engine Dog, and you guys have been liking that pretty well. The views are doing so. If you see something like that, it's like, okay, I thought this was a DID channel, not a kids show. That's why. And then Rosemary, our alter, she has a cooking show that she's doing. For the rest of you who've been asking for more, Rosemary, yes, she's doing the holiday edition. We're starting to gear up for that. So watch out for that. She's going to be presenting. I don't know what she's going to be presenting. It'll be holiday themed, though. I have no idea what she's planning. So basically, those are it. But we believe that our channel is an open forum for any of our alters to express themselves in whatever form that they may choose fit. Now, as far as our comment sections and the live streams, we run things a little bit differently. Rather than just direct Q&A with us, we look at it, again, as more of an open forum where we discuss whatever. And everybody's feel free to chime in with their thoughts or their experiences, their tips or tricks. We've grown a very supportive community around that whole premise. So that's what you do. Here are the rules, now that we've gotten all that out of the way. And there are a few. Rule number 1, you have the right to your opinion. Rule number 2, you have the right to state your opinion. Rule number 3, you do not have the right to abuse other people with your opinion. Don't discuss sex unless it's within the bounds of the conversation. Do not discuss politics or religion whatsoever. Do not troll, do not start crap. We have mods. Hello, there are roses, wave that ban hammer, and they will use them. We don't deal with it. We've just been around since the birth of the internet and before that, so we know all the tricks. Save yourself some trouble, save us some trouble. Not speaking directly to you, Captain Cronus, you seem pretty mellow, and we don't really have many troublemakers, but putting this out there as a general rule for those who are watching later. Same applies to our comment sections. Keep it polite, keep it civil. Those are the rules. That's the explanation of the channel. And now, back to the comments after I take another sip of tea. Okay, so let's see where you're at. So that's it. That's the spiel. Now you know. Again, welcome. Let's see. Dragons shared the good news on the lease for their new apartment. That is great. Let's see here. Everybody's congratulating Dragons. Absolutely. Grace to Grow. Hello. Haven't seen you around in a little bit. It's good to see you on the stream again. Always happy to see you. Let's see. Starts with a C. Let's see. Chase. Chase. There we go. Chase. We remembered. Told you we would. Let's see here. Chase is saying always end up with feeling people hands on us. Lucky we don't have sleep paralysis. Yeah, what you're feeling there, that's called a body or somatic memory. These are also part of the experience that is imprinted when the trauma is imprinted onto the brain, which locks it away. When we get the ANP, apparently normal part, and EP split. We go into this in more detail on, a bunch of our different videos on the process of exactly how it does it. But what it's doing is at that time, it's locking everything that you're experiencing away, all five senses, say it's, taste, sound, smell, sight, touch. So any body feelings that you might have felt during that or over the course of those type experiences are going to get replayed later as your mind starts to unlock the trauma that's been hidden underneath the surface. We get those a lot all the time on our hands, on our wrists, and our ankles because that was part of our trauma. Um, we were tied up basically. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that's a reason why we've never really been able to wear watches. We love, it's a dangly pocket watch. That's our type of thing. But anything that goes around our wrists, we don't even like to wear socks. And except we have them. We get home and we kick them off because that body memory focuses in. So that's what you're having there when you're feeling the hands on you. Another real common one is feeling the presence of a person right in back of you, maybe the hand on the shoulder or whatnot. You probably know what we're talking about there, Chase. Okay, let's see. Naomi's saying Percival is the best for stories. Love those, even if I'm no kid anymore. Yeah, and we forgot to mention the stories are for everyone. We have a lot of singlets and neurotypicals, adults who love to listen to them too because and we've had a lot of them say it just provides he's warm and comforting, which is great. It's like we wanted to do content for littles because nobody else was doing it. But if the adults are grooving on it too, hey, I think in today's world we all kind of need a little safe space with a kind person talking at us. Although if some of you can see the way that he acts behind the scenes, boy, I'll tell you, I'll go and I'll edit the footage later, and I have no idea what I'm going to find. It's like I fired it up for the Carry the Fire dog and started to that point and discovered that here's Percival talking directly to me, being real salty. He must have been something going on in the internal dialogue that day because he was rather salty with me. I was like, "Damn, boy, what I do to you?" So anyway, but he's terribly gentle. He wouldn't hurt a fly or a flea on a fly for that matter. Okay, let's see here. Rose's mother watches little stories when she's needing a comforting time. That's cool. That's right. You mentioned that before. Hello, 5 pieces of 9. We're going, okay, cloud and sun blending. 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'm sorry. It's the time changes are difficult to keep up with. So sorry. But you're here in plenty of time. Don't worry, you're not late. So it worked out in your favor this time. We'll change the thing. So anyway, hello, cloud. Welcome. And the rest of you. This be the verse. Hello, Vi. We're going to assume Vi. Maybe V? Let us know if you will. Let's see. Blue Rose here. 5 pieces 9. Little threat. Thanks, Chris. Just finished a marathon wedding weekend of a friend, which was the equivalent of the maid of honor in. Very fun and gender fluid confirming. Excellent. Wore femme clothes for most events. Excellent. And my first suit for the main event. It was awesome, and I'm recovering from the energy cut. Yeah. I'm skipping ahead here. Brother was a trooper and stayed alone almost all the time, with me bouncing in and out for meals and medicine. Hope your family is doing well. Excellent. That's good to hear. Sounds like your brother is kind of gaining some autonomy as well, and that's always great to hear, particularly in chronic care type situations like the one that you're doing. Again, props to you for doing that. It sounds like you had a great time, which is great. You deserved that release there, that time off. So let's see here. Roses was saying sometimes we have a bot or two. If I miss it, please ping me so I can hammer that back out. Yeah, last time we had a couple, but it's no big deal. Yeah, and on that, you guys, if you do show a bot up or anybody links to this funky looking link in the description, don't click on it. Okay, we'll catch it. Just ignore it. We will make them go away. Okay, don't worry. We're pretty well on top of that. But I do run behind a bit when I'm answering the questions as we expound and go on and on and on. So yeah, that's why Roses will catch it. So don't freak out. We'll get rid of them if they pop up. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. Naomi's saying singlet, yes. Neurotypical, apparently not. It's okay. And Naomi, just from your DMs, and it's like we, yeah, we understand what you're saying. Okay, we kind of picked up on those signals, or you've at least got a little PTSD going on there. But again, this is just one person to another, not technical. Anyway, just kind of anyway. We're going to move on because we're not sure exactly how to express what we're trying to say. So, um, but if you're not, then well, welcome to the club. Let's see here. 5 Pieces of 9 saying hello to Blue Rose. Hey, Naomi, how are you? Been thinking about you after the live the other day. You talked about not being able to be okay. We were a little worried about you. Yes, thank you, Blue Rose. You're kind of zeroing in on what we were just literally trying to say. So, thank you for the concern. To be honest, I don't think it'll ever change. It's just all I know. Yeah, we feel you there. However, keep in mind that yes, even those behavior patterns and stuff can change. Given the right environment, the awareness of the fact that you're experiencing them, and then you start to dig into the underlying cause and you go, I'm having this reaction, and here's why I'm having the reaction. Now, what can I do to change that? Because this sucks. This is where we're at when our work journey is we've finally gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we pretty much have a good idea where all the trauma is and how. I mean, of course, there's way more down there, but we learned not to poke. We learned the hard way not to poke. But now our focus is less on that and more on the, okay, this is how we have been programmed, taught, uh, learned to react to things. This is the way that our worldview has been. This is the way that we react to things. Is this a normal reaction? Is it a trauma reaction? Okay, and then you trace this back and you're going, okay, I felt this way or I reacted this way then. Why did we react that way? It's like, okay, well, I was never taught to read social cues or emotional regulation or things like that. And then you have to learn to stop as you're starting to feel that and feel that cycle kick in. You have to stop yourself and go, okay, let's take a step back here. I'm feeling this way again. Okay, why is this? And you kind of have to tease it out and sit with it. And then generally something will go, oh, that's why. Or you'll be scrubbing the dishes 6 weeks later, and all of a sudden the answer will pop into your head and you'll go, oh, that's why. But then the next time that you start feeling that way, you can kind of break into it easier. There was a loop that we get into. With the guilt, blame, shame spiral, a lot of trauma victims, a very common thing is you try to fix things around you. You have to keep the status quo. As long as everybody's happy and everything is just so, you're not going to, it lessens the likelihood that you're going to get abused again. If you make everybody happy, so your entire self and your entire self-worth becomes mixed in with making others happy and fixing things. We have this in a big, huge way. And I think it was last week or the week before, our wife just had an absolutely terrible, crappy day at work and like literally would not talk about it and was just really stressed out. And we immediately, the trauma programming and the trauma patterning leapt to, oh my God, we've done something wrong. This is something we've done. We have to fix this. And we were able for the first time to go, wait a second, that's not right. This is the trauma conditioning. This is the programming kicking in, and because of how it was in the past. And for the first time, we were able to go, okay, no, it's not us. It's whatever it is. It's not our fault. It has nothing to do with us. We just have to chill out, kick back, and not mention it. It's we respect her right to not talk about it, to blow it off in her own way. And this was and rather than to jump in there and immediately try to fix it, and it was a very tough urge to fight against. And this is the first time that we've actually been able to recognize it and then stop that pattern of behavior from taking place. So that's kind of the thing that we're talking about, and that's where we're at in our journey. Is you have to just peel those layers back, and they start coming off on their own. But you're literally relearning how to live your entire life. We were never given the appropriate tools. We were never learned how to read social cues properly. We've stumbled our way through because as a trauma victim, you're on that high alert. Your stress response cycle is constantly kicked in, and you're always looking for that danger that is going to show up because it always does. But you're always on that high alert, and your body literally gets physically burned out. And we've covered a lot of this before, so we're going to get back to the chat log, but hope that Hope that helps there. Yeah. That's where we. So Naomi, hopefully maybe that helps a little bit. Okay, 5 piece of 9 is saying to us, just confused a little bit. Tries to see this. Yeah, it's okay. Take your time. 5 or Cloud, whomever. Let's see. This will be the verse. Your assumption is correct. V like visor. Okay, so V. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for correcting us on that there V. Yeah, no, it's okay, Naomi. Basically, they already said it for us. You know, it's after your last live stream. We kind of got the feeling that maybe you're in an uncomfortable situation, or that you've dealt with that type of a situation in the past, and maybe have some mental health issues or struggles. Of course, who in the world doesn't right now? Hello, why are there no therapists around? Because the whole world freaked out. Um, doesn't help us with the really severe stuff, but anyway. But so don't. The main thing is don't feel bad about it, whatever it is. If it's just a mild thing, or again, you've heard us over our videos. You're longtime viewers. You know our thoughts on it. So just hang on to that, and just remember, not your fault, and trauma doesn't lie. Okay, those are your bulwarks there. When you feel that self doubt. Okay, no matter what it is. Okay, do. Let's see. Hang on, we're going back. So the. Sorry. Like. Okay. Sad Doggo, hey, just starting work, so I can't say. Just wanted to say hi. Hope all is well. Hopefully you're still around. Welcome. Go ahead and catch up on the stream as well. We understand having to work. Okay. Little Threat saying, gotta say bye. Be back to watch the rest later. Okay. Take care. Happy Halloween. Definitely for sure. Let's see. Naomi's wanting to know, how do you do that when you're not capable of identifying how you feel? It's tough. It's tough because it's tough because you're feeling and reacting one way your entire life, and then you have to try to go, okay, am I really feeling and reacting this way, and then why? It's a process that happens on its own, Naomi. For the first, oh dear God, right at well, even when we started this channel 2 years ago, we're going on 3 in April. We were at the point in our journey, as it were, where we just found out about our multiplicity and all the trauma started coming out. So we were doing nothing but trauma processing for like the first 2 years. I mean, we're still doing it. So it's only now 2 years on where we're finally getting at some of the stuff that our therapist was telling us in the beginning that made no damn sense then. That now has we get what she was saying, but it was way too early to be hitting us with those facts unless she was deliberately planting those seeds there so that they would grow later and we would know what the hell she was on about. Um, as we're always saying, you might want to look into a mental health, just get assessed. Go in. Maybe there's a group that you can talk to or something. It doesn't have to be a full-blown diagnosis if you don't want to. Just see if there's some support systems in your community. There's probably a couple groups you can go to, and just sit there. So. A lot of the others, I'm sure they may have some tips for you. So, guys, feel free to reach out to Naomi, please. Let's see. This be the verse. We agree with what you're saying, Chris. We also find that breaking down and understanding our loops of behavior and what's going on for us can be helped along as a process if you journal and vlog. Yeah, exactly. For us, our journaling and vlogging, we do it separately, obviously, off to the sides. We've got quite a backlog of stuff. Which is where we pull from, some of these more serious episodes that we want to cover. We've got some audio of John's first appearances, and it's heart-wrenching to listen to those. Whether or not we may work those in later, we'll see, because there is an episode, one of our heavier episode that we've been wanting to do since we started. But it sat on the back burner, and it may sit there a little while longer, but he's directly tied into it. So we draw from a well selectively. But yeah, it's we do vlog, and the channel actually kind of in these live streams kind of serve that purpose as well, if you get what we're saying. We kind of speak through our content. Journal and vlog, and talk to one another in here to go over forth and back and forth. Yeah, absolutely. We're so co-con most of the time that it's kind of second nature for us. So there's certain parts of the journey that other systems go through where it's like, for example, a lot of they're fragmented and then they move more towards co-con or integration. Because we grew up together, well, some of us did, we've always been communicative. We just didn't know. We thought we were one individual and that everybody had voices in their heads that argued and bickered and talked back and forth and whatnot. Not so much. No. So for us, the journey has been kind of in reverse. Instead of moving towards co-consciousness, we've been discovering who we are and moving into more of the individual person. This is them and this is their purview type of a thing. Instead of stuffing into the box, taking the lid off and letting all the bling, go free confetti everywhere. So yeah. Well stated. This be the word, or thy. Sorry, thy. We're trying. Let's see here. So Naomi Roses is saying, Naomi, can you identify where in your body the feelings sit, even if you're not able to put a label? Okay, we're just going to let Roses go back and forth. Again, she's ahead of us. This be the verse is telling Naomi, in the way we've been learning, identifying what we're feeling is still really challenging for a lot of us often, but what helps us is trying to feel our body one muscle group at a time, like scanning and feel where in our body, exactly what Rose's run says. Yeah. Rose has been dealing with their DID for over 16 years now, so we'll defer to them. It's like, there's your font of knowledge over there. Okay. 5 Piece of 9 is saying to Little Threat, want to upload Y Cloud Extended, but too much Sony footage and the littler ones. Timing isn't right. And the Win Movie Maker. Oh, dear Lord, you're using Win Movie Maker. You should at least look into the free version of NCH Video Pad. It's not great, but it's what we used before we moved up. But yeah, we're sorry about that. It's a basic start, but yeah, NCH Video Pad. You should be able to find it, no problem. It's still as simple-ish as Windows Movie Maker if you've got a handle on that, but it's going to give you a lot more tools and whatnot, and it's pretty much the same layout, so you won't have as big a jump as, say, for example, somebody going from that to Premiere, which, oh my God, is confusing. So yeah, let's see. Where were we? This be the verse is saying, I'm sorry, thy is saying, where they feel it in the body and what it feels like. Sometimes therapists ask us questions like, if the feeling had a color or a texture, what would it be? That's interesting. What would it say? And we journal these things and get a slightly more built-up picture of them. That's an interesting idea. Blue Rose is saying that for them, identifying what they feel is more an intellectual journey in trying to access the body. Certain feelings can be found in certain parts of the body and go from there. Yeah, each system is going to approach things differently because our brains are all differently. The traumas were all different. There are a lot of underlying commonalities and those are the ones that we try to address and speak to and give information on. But everybody's journey is going to be different. It's DID is not a cookie cutter type of a condition, which is probably why Western medical science has been so slow to recognize that, yes, this is actually a thing. Over in the UK and over there, you guys actually have better clinics and it's more accepted than it is over here in the US. It's gotten into the DSM-5 as a separate category, and it has very specific conditions, boxes that you have to tick off in order to have the diagnosis. But acceptance is growing slowly. Let's see here. Roses is saying, start by trying to feel what part of your body becomes tense and activated and when, and then sitting with that part of your body for a while. Let's see. Vi is saying, you're right in the way you say it, Chris, like vibe, like vibrant. Yeah, we got it. It's okay. Thank you. Flit. Roses is going on more about sitting with their majesty. You've missed so much. No, I actually haven't. It's okay. We're still actually fairly early on in the stream here. Only 40 minutes. Come on, give yourself some credit. Blue Rose is agreeing with what Roses and Rent and this be the verse said, a little so typing. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Roses is giving examples about holding a lot of tension in our shoulders. We do that, and particularly in our pecs. This is going to sound weird, but our breast muscles will start to get sore. Pec muscles will start to get sore when we're holding stress, and our wife will come and put her hands on our shoulders, and we're like, "Oh," she's like, "Yeah, you're stressed." Let's see here. Let's see. Chatting back and forth with Roses. Yeah, okay, we found the way to describe the feeling as an object thing is very helpful for your littles. Interesting. Okay, 5 Piece of Nine is saying it us. Thanks for the suggestion. Have actually purchased something for making movies, and we think that we downloaded Director or Project or something like that. Not familiar with those. We've been picking our way through Premiere for a while now. Only now getting a handle on it. Oh dear God, if we knew the things that we knew now that when we started 2 years ago, we would have saved so much time. But Video Bad is a good interim. So yeah, try that out. 5. They're saying all their stress is held in between the shoulder blades. Yeah, us too, in that whole region. All right, so we are actually pretty well caught up, I think. So yeah, we'll chatter as we pour another cup of tea here because Percival's like, we need to drink it before it goes cold. So it's already went cold, and we're ignoring our smoothie. Yes. Now you see here's an example. If you guys could hear what's going on inside, I'm pouring from the teapot in the second thing. Percival's like, yes, we need to drink it before it goes cold. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's already probably cold anyway. And then Rosemary immediately chimes in, well, we haven't finished our smoothie yet either, and you need to get that more. We need more than just a cup of tea. And so she and Percival start nattering about that. Meantime, I'm just sitting here with the teacup in my hand and going, yeah, I'll get to the smoothie after I'm done with this. On and on and on all day long. Well, if you've watched our A Day with DID and A Night with DID, you have a pretty of our internal chatter. Apparently, we're a lot more COCON than other systems are, from what we've gathered from your guys' comments and just watching other videos. Whether that's a gift or a curse, who knows? But it's how we are. And ironically, since getting our diagnosis, it's kind of a relief for me because now I can actually talk back physically rather than just trying to keep it all in the head. Of course, now, to the family, I look like, the proverbial crazy person running around talking to people who aren't there. Well, they're there, you just can't hear them. It's like, what do you think, guys? Inventions for DID, like some kind of a neural transceiver with speakers on it so that we could let everybody else hear what's going on inside of our noggins. Good idea. Anyone out there with some scientific expertise to make that happen? The tech is all there. Just let's combine it. What do you think, guys? Possible product for DID? Would you use such a device in order to, let others know what's going on, or would you kind of try to keep it private in your own head? Interesting thought. If you want to, sound off with that. That's kind of an interesting idea to explore. If we could let others hear what's going on with our altars inside, would you actually do it? Where would you fall on that? Would it be an invasion of privacy, do you feel? Would it be a relief because then they could understand what's going on? Which side of the debate do you guys weigh in? Just food for thought. Interesting question. Forgive us while we keep up with the medication. We are still, we hide it really well, but we're still in a fairly good amount of pain from our foot surgery, and we took a tumble the other. The run of bad luck continued. The world is doing its best to kill the body lightly here. And so we were joking to our wife the other day, well, it's next, major organ failure. And she's like, please don't. It's like, so. So we're trying to keep up on it because we would much rather be doing our normal, legal cannabis rather than dealing with the Percocet that they've had us on, and we weaned ourselves off rapidly of those, like we were talking in the last live stream, because you have to remember and take into account for the mental health survivor, the trauma survivors need to want to dull the pain. And it's really easy to use those pain pills, particularly for us as an escape. We've had major problems with that in the past. Not so much now, more when we were like 18, 19, when this stuff was still happening, or rather the final phase was still happening, and we were just desperately trying to get some relief. So stuff from the past that you have to take into account in the present. But yeah, we're off that and onto the more holistic, now, because those pills are just bad. They do bad thing to our mood and just. But we have needed them. Oh, this has been very, very painful. All right, so we've rattled on a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Oh. So their majesty is saying we're excited to catch the live because you guys can be one of the first to know our good news. Excellent. We're finally comfortable enough with our status as a system to get our UK diagnosis. Grats. That is a great step forward to take. Well done. Good for you for getting in there. And it's a little scary, but don't worry. It's probably going to be way less intimidating and scary than you think. We went in expecting clank, clank, padded room, bye, bye, guy. Lay down on this couch and tell me about your mother. It's like, you don't want to open that ball of wax right there. I can tell you what. But yeah, and it totally wasn't like that. But yeah, great news, absolutely fantastic news, and good for you for taking that step to find out, because either way it should be a relief. Then you'll know for sure exactly what it is, and then use that as a base to build off of and to target your treatment or your course of action as it was. So great, and it'll open up those resources for you as well, hopefully. So yay, great news. Oh, should not have set the tablet down. So yes, thank you for sharing that. Excellent. And for sharing it with us first. Let's see here. So yeah, okay, Grace to Grow making pizza. Yeah, that's great, Their Majesty. Fantastic. Grace to Grow making pizza for my dear one and I for supper. Easy fix for Sunday. What type of pizza? Are you the type of person where Hawaiian pizza is great, or do you believe that pineapple has no place on a pizza whatsoever? Weigh in with your thoughts. For us, we like the pineapple pizza. It's good for a change. It's best with the Canadian bacon, not like just the regular pepperoni. Have to do it right. So what is your pizza preference? Lots of random questions today. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see. 5 pieces of 9. Cloud is saying some things that the altars say aren't nice. Well, about others hearing what we hear. Oh yeah, there would be that. I mean, you guys have watched Mimi. She goes right for the gut. Yeah, there would definitely be drawbacks, pros and cons to that. But yeah, we get you. Let's see. This be they're saying. Vi is saying, if we could let people hear what we said inside, sure, I'd be down. If people could hear what we can think inside as well, not so much. Yes, excellent. There's your demarcation point right there. What is said versus what is thought. Excellent point. 5 pieces of 9 others equal regular people. Awesome NB person, welcome. I don't think we've seen you around before. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel. Feel free to chime in, ask questions, whatever it is. We already ran over the rules. Basically, they just run like this. Right to your opinion, right to state your opinion. You don't have the right to abuse others or your opinion. Don't troll, don't start crap, don't discuss sex, religion, or politics. We have mod with a band hammer. That's basically it. Mind your P's and Q's. So again, welcome. Let's see, where did you go? It scrolled on. That would be a great invention. I wouldn't personally use it, though, even though others think I'm crazy, because we do have a lot of fights in Inner World. So it's probably not a good idea to use personally. Yeah, well, we have our spats as well. It's like early on, just after they emerged, step forward or whatever, more like a step forward thing. Rosemary and Mimi had a fight. Huge fight, and we don't know. I still do not know to this day what the hell it was about. Neither one of them will say anything, but they managed to patch up their differences and came to a workable conclusion, but still no clue what the hell it was about, just that one happened. Okay, let's see here. Do, 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 do. Let's see there. Their Majesty is saying, would not use the device. Our system talks mad shit about people outside the headspace. We'd get punched. Yeah, there would definitely be that aspect of it too. Roses chimes in with, yeah, I would really not like some of the things my less kind alters in my head say voiced out loud. We would need some sort of no a-hole filter in place. Yeah, definitely. Grace to Grow is saying my DO would not want to use such a device. I think he'd feel too out of control. Yeah, there would definitely be that aspect to it. Leslie Cloud is saying because our altars are inside, they are unbridled on their word choices, except when littles are close and then they temper a bit. Their Majesty is saying, and imagine the little thoughts just being out there would not end well. Yeah, particularly walking by the toy aisle and telling them that, no, sorry, you cannot get that, $50 Lego set. Or whatever it might be. Blue Rose says, wouldn't let everyone hear what goes on inside, but a therapist who could hear all of us would be really handy. I think, yep, there we go. I think that would be the best use so far, just judging from your guys' thoughts and reactions. That would probably be the best environment and use for such a device in therapy, or maybe communicating with your loved ones. Definitely on a selective basis. For sure. That is an excellent point. It would be a great therapeutic tool. No doubt about it. Let's see here. Mark, hey, good to see you again. Good to see you in the chat. Hi, I've kept missing you. So glad to catch you. Yeah, we would have done yesterday, but we've been in a lot of pain because of the foot and the car accident. And actually, not so much from that, just some general muscle achiness, but we were already feeling it anyway from the surgery. So it's like, but yeah, we've missed seeing you around. But yeah, yesterday we were just, oh my God, just don't have it in us. So it was self-care day, and we're learning to be smart about that now. So yeah, we're glad that we caught you, or that you caught us. Rosa is saying that would be a very interesting time. Yes. Their Majesty, awesome that there isn't the fear we had when this started. Yeah. Awesome Envy chimes in on the pizza. Pineapple is pretty good on pizza. Let's see. Okay, here's Blue Rose on the opposite end of the spectrum. Pineapple on pizza is a waste of the pineapple and the pizza. Chase says, pineapple all day over here. Grace to Grow, Ray pineapple on pizza. They plead the fifth. That is a closet pineapple pizza lover right there, if I've ever seen one. Let's see. Their Majesty is saying to 5, don't get me wrong, we're terrified, but we're doing it anyway. Yeah, now there is a basis that is at the core of learning to deal with your DID. We're terrified, but we have to do it anyway, which can lead to that. This is just terribly unfair thought. Our abusers, or whether they got away with it or not, we're having to deal, not only do we deal with what they did to us, but we also have to deal with not only that, but then recovering from it. So we have to experience it twice, and then we have to continually deal with it for the rest of our lives. And it's terribly unfair, but you're kind of forced to, because you can just lay there and wallow in it. And unfortunately, once you become aware of it, you don't really have any choice but to deal with it, at least for us, but just maybe because we're wired that way, which might lead right back to that whole, we have to fix things to make everyone else happy, including ourselves. So you can see how that trauma patterning and conditioning just gets so wrapped up in layers and layers and layers. So let's see here. Grace to Grow says, my dear one, though, it's all about black olives. Yes, black olives are good. Pepperoni, onion, mushroom, black olives. There's a classic pizza right there. 420 Witch, hello, Magical Beans, Witchy Huckstall, good to see you. Happy Halloween, or Day of the Dead, whichever you want, or I'm sorry. We did this earlier. All Hallows Eve, there we go. Brain is a little flitty at this point, but it's good to see you, 420. Let's see. Their Majesty saying we like pineapple on pizza, but body doesn't tolerate lactose. So pizza in general is a bad idea for us. Their Majesty, we feel you. The body is also lactose intolerant, and Moo Juice has been our lifelong friend. And 6 years ago or so, it started to disagree with us, and now we're at the point where we can deal with 1% or fat free, but anything over that, we're taking a gamble, even if we take those, the not Tums, the dairy supplement, whatever they are. We feel your pain. We truly do, because it's in everything. Okay, let's see here. Do this be the? Sorry, Thy is saying, I'm sure we can bring the pineapple and non-pineapplers together, bonded over hatred for the delicious evil I'm about to praise. Anchovies and black olives on pizza. It's lit. You can the olives, yes. Anchovies. Yeah, that's an old school pizza choice right there. I haven't seen that one in a while, but yeah, no, we don't care for fish, so you can keep that one. Glad you enjoy it though. That would definitely be. We're gonna weigh in on the hatred for anchovies. I think we're one of that crowd. Oh, Blue Rose, no, no, no. You too, anchovies and black olives. 420 saying hello to everybody. Damn good pizza. Yeah. Ugh. Let's see. Cloud is saying 5 pieces of 9 is talking to Blue Rose. They're trying ketamine in counseling sessions to try to get the trauma holders to tell our counselor the stuff. Data has done some reading on that. We won't talk too much on it. Or next thing you know, he'll be up here. But definitely let us know. Keep letting us know how that's working for you, because there are some treatments that in the past would have been considered. Say, what, you want to give mental ill people drugs? Because ketamine is a horse tranquilizer. But now, of course, we have psilocybin, magic mushrooms used to treat depression, and studies going on with that. So, any of you who might be, part of those, new treatments, be sure to drop us a comment. Let us know how they're working for you. Let's see here. Mark saying, I believe that ketamine was crucial towards us achieving our mental health. And Mark, if we're not misremembering, you're the one who turned us on to, essentially, it was the electrical stimulation of the brain. I can't remember the name of it yet, but Data looked that up and thought it was a fascinating idea, particularly given the various brainwave states that would provide a much more targeted focus on the areas of the brain. Yep, see, here he comes into the front. But yeah, he did remember that and look into it, and made a note to let you know. Thank you for passing that on to us. So thank you, Mark, for that. 420 Wedge found out one of the main people that caused my trauma died last week. Have had an overload of different emotions about it. Yeah, that would definitely cause a welter of, okay, this person that's been an ingrained part of my life is gone. Yay, finally. Yeah, the bastard's finally gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead. But at the same time, you've got that guilt and that, oh my God, should I feel sad? And then you get into the internal guilt, blame, shame. And should I feel bad about this because this person was part of my life? And there's the other parts of you going, yeah, well, that, let him rot in hell, or whoever it might be. So yeah, we get that. We've been kind of internally buttressing ourselves against that for when our egg donor eventually. Yeah, we know at some point we're probably going to, I don't know, it depends. More than actually, the most likely situation is that she'll probably cack and give it all to our half sister, who who was abused along with us, but probably doesn't know it and might very well be a system herself, particularly given all the stuff that was going on in her mental health right around the time that she hit 14, 15 as well. And so, yeah, given our past trauma history, and yeah. We know from several of it that she was abused as well, because we have clear memory of that as well. Anyway, it gets icky from here, so we would definitely be on the side of rotten hell, you son of a bitch. But we do get it. But anyway, she would just simply, because she's still part of egg donors circuit as far as we know, she'd just basically probably give it all to her, and we would never know. Either that, or she's going to cack and the cops will come looking for us and go knocking on the door. By the way, your mother's dead. We're here to tell you. And then it's like, huh, do we pop the champagne or do we act distraught? Anyway, we get what you're saying there. Mixed feelings for sure, 420. So yeah, and expect that, and it's okay to process through those emotions. Okay, so their majesty saying, oh, definitely, man, our abuser sleeps happy at night and got away scot-free, but we're sorting ourselves out and fighting for a happy life out of spite. Yes. That's another thing. It's like, I don't know if you guys are Trekkies, and it's a god awful movie in the Trek canon anyway. But in Star Trek Five, when the one where he meets God, there's a line that he says that struck true with us even at the time. I don't want to give up my hate or my anger. I need it. It drives me, and that's one of the things that as trauma victims, I think that we're kind of almost encouraged to do. Oh, just let go and forgive and forget. It's like, no. I'm entitled to be angry about this. I'm entitled to be pissed about this. It's my pain. This is what was done to me. Don't tell me that I should forgive and forget. That's my choice, and you're not going to take it away from me. At the same time, you don't have the right to take that anger out on other people. Fine edge to walk, but yeah, we firmly the reasons. The last damn thing that we're going to do is, if we have the chance, is going to just look back on it all and laugh our ass off. And you want to know why? Because we will have beaten them. Because we were told that we were worthless and useless and we would never amount to anything, and a lot of other things that you guys have probably heard as well, so we won't go into them. But basically, at the core, the one thing that kind of brings us together, even before we knew what a system was a great big middle finger to them going, I survived in spite of everything that you did and tried to do with me. So yeah, spite as a motivator. Cheers. Tink. You have a right to it, and you have a right to own it and use it any damn way you please, as long as you're not inflicting it on somebody else. That's when you become the thing that you hate. Yeah, so definitely for sure. Captain Kronos leans in on the great pizza debate. Another one for Hawaiian. Let's see here. Feelings for me. 5 is talking more about the therapy and their experiences with the interchanges that is bringing. Captain Kronos says, sorry, I was doing something, but I was listening. My dad went to college for years for psychology. And when I brought up being interested in it myself, especially after learning about it, and such, he really went off negatively on it. He's also denied autism and ADHD in the past and currently, which I definitely have one of those. To his dismay, laughed my ass off. How can you deny autism and ADHD? These are clearly defined medical conditions with lots of physical evidence behind them. This is not just not being funny, all in their heads. This is an actual medical condition. How in the hell can he possibly deny it? That's not rational. So, we feel you, Captain Kronos. That's just, yeah. And good for you for wanting to learn more about it, for sure. Because, and we have discovered that amongst victims and trauma sufferers, it's very common to go digging for your own help because the resources just really aren't there. And particularly when you're dealing with the complex structural dissociative conditions like CPTSD, OSDD and DID, it's far more specialized, and finding those resources can be a struggle. Let's see. Chase is saying, don't like fish in any form, mate. We're not big on fish either. There, and again, goes back to a trauma incident. We were forced to clean a salmon that was ready to spawn, and just it's by our abuser. And those of you who fish, I'm sure there's like, so you had to clean a fish. Okay, yeah. Well, when you're 9 and traumatized, anyway, after that we don't like fish. Much to Nigel's dismay, because he loves fish and he's very good at cooking it. So it's kind of like when we do have fish, we just kind of let him take over the taste buds and he can eat it. And then I'm like, it's like, nah, fish, I'm out of here. Here, Nigel, enjoy. So we've kind of learned to do that. I know that sounds weird, but anyway. So yeah, no fish for sure. We're there with you, Chase. Let's see. Witchy, we can. Blue Rose is saying to Witchy, we can imagine that causes an overload about the death. Yeah, absolutely. Only found out 2 days ago, still riding the roller coaster. Yes, absolutely. Chase says they've been told, previous bad people. We've been told we were previous bad people, that DID is fake and that no one needs therapy and they just need to buck up with ideas and get on with life. So finally going to talk to our college counselor about it. Yes, that whole, oh, it's okay, any mental illness can be, overcome if you just put your mind to it, and no pun intended. And it's a matter of willpower. You know what? We used to say the whole goddamn thing ourselves. We used to firmly believe that, and we were stupid and we were arrogant about it because we were. Yeah, well, I may not be at liberty to admit to go into the details, but yeah, we were. It was a form of arrogance. That is a form of arrogance and oversimplification, and we were guilty of it as well. And then all of a sudden, life came along and smacked us in the face and went, "Hey, guess what?" And that's when we went, "Okay, we didn't know what we were talking about. We were talking out of our ass because no, your mind is in control of you." You are not in control of your mind. It is the other way around for the most part, and it will hardcore screw with you. And there's not a damn thing that you can do about it except write it out, baby, and learn to come to terms with it. So, yeah, that whole buck up and get on with life, that's toxic positivity at its finest right there. So yeah, Chase. Let's see, Captain Kronos. The U.S. is painfully behind in any form of mental health awareness. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Their Majesty, I'm terrified for my trauma man to die in case he haunts me. Here's the thing about this, and this may not be an answer that you want to hear. He haunts you already, even just being alive, because the trauma is there. You've been abused, and those impacts are going to last you the rest of your life. The best that you can do is learn to come to terms with it and learn to live with it. We just realized that the ends of our shelves here make us look like we have black pointy cat ears or something. Totally unintentional, sorry. But yeah, I don't think he's going to haunt you. But, and again, to go to this, it is documented, it is well known that there can be alters that are patterned off of your abuser because that's all that you've known. And they will take on the same traits, the same type of negative talk, the same type of abusive traits. We are fortunate that we have not had this be because we've got plenty of other programming and shit that we have to deal with. So we've been fortunate. However, we do know that we have at least one non-co alter, or rather the one that cloaks himself from us or herself or whatever itself is from us, and it spits out some really vile, nasty thoughts that we thought they were just background, the actual internal chatter that everyone has, NTs included. But these have been too targeted to be that. And whenever we're like, okay, hey, you want to come out and say something else, just please, and then of course it's scuttle back off to the darkness. So we're thinking that perhaps that might be our equivalent of that patterning from the abuser, because there was a lot of emotional abuse that went along with everything else, and yeah, our emotional state was fucked with quite a bit. It was very thorough and very cruel. So yeah, if you're anything like us, probably kind of already living with it. But here's the bright side: it's now under your control, and and you can do something about it. Whereas before you couldn't, because ultimately it's your experience. If you see what we're saying, okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. So yeah, but we do understand your fear there, Majesty. Let's see. 420 Witch is saying anger that he got to live longer than your mom, and wired that he's no longer around. It's strange. Yeah. It seems like evil lives forever and the good people die young. It's a truism. Let's see. 5 Pieces 9 is saying to us, as it sits, our 8-session plan talking about the ketamine. The first couple sessions for medication adjustment was interrupted by COVID and vacation for 4 weeks, though the depression lessened. Starting over again, not sure until this coming Tuesday. Just keep us posted on that, how it goes for everybody. Mark is saying TMS, yes, transcranial magnetic stimulation. Yes, thank you, and thanks for pointing that out to us. Awesome NB is saying definitely we're going to be looking into getting a therapist, and filling out forms and referrals can also relate to abusers telling us we're faking or it's not a real thing, spirals us into denial a lot. Okay, awesome NB person, that is a true statement. And if you haven't seen it already, one of those multiple part series that we've done. It's a 3-part series. It's called Denying DID. The first one gives a practical example of our denial. The second is the real meat and bones of the whole message. And the message is basically this: trauma doesn't lie. If you have the underlying symptoms of trauma, you have trauma under the surface. Please go watch those videos. If you watch any of them, just watch number 2. It's called Denying DID. Trauma doesn't lie, because we go into great amounts of detail about denial and the whole process of denial, why we deny, and that whole thought process that goes into it. And we provide that bulwark for you. If you watch the first part, you'll get more of a sense of how we were not dealing with it early on. But for denial, and anybody who has not seen that video who might struggle with the denial, most of you guys in the chat right now are a long time viewer, so you've already watched it. Please go and check that one out. Don't be afraid to go back into our content to re-review, because we have covered a lot over 2 years. So don't be afraid to necro post and whatnot. No connection, retry. What the hell? Okay, it's saying that back online. Okay, I think maybe what's going on here? I hope the house internet just hasn't crapped out. Okay, guys, I'm having, wait a minute. Okay, it's flipping back on and off, so give it just a second here. Retry. Okay, there we go. Wi-Fi, what are you gonna do? Okay, so let's see here. So yeah, TCM, starting over again, not sure. Okay, awesome NB, yeah, denial, absolutely. Part 2, trauma doesn't lie. Great video. We actually go back and rewatch it because it's a powerful tool against that denial. Let's see. Don't know. Naomi's saying don't know sounds horrible, but I'd go for the champagne. 420 Witch, I want to take a poop on his grave. I won't. I'd get arrested, but I want to. Yeah, you know what, 420? One of our bucket list items has been to piss on the grave of our abuser, of our stepfather abuser. And over the time, we swore that we would always do that. But over time, we realized that why in the hell would we give that power away? He's not even worth our piss. And he's probably not even worth your shit. I mean, well, why would you give him anything more than you already have? It's like, fuck that. He's not even worth it. Excuse our French, but that's our take on it. Maybe that's whole, spite as a motivator thing, but don't give your abusers any more power than they've already taken from you. But yeah, we get you. We get you. This be the verse is saying, or I'm sorry, thy is saying, yeah, let go my ass. We worked hard for our anger, and as far as we're concerned, our abusers can die on the wrong side of history and rot in any kind of imagined hell. Our anger has every right to exist. Exactly. Yeah. And, if there is any spiritual justice out there, we kind of hope that ours are continually locked into a loop of exactly what they did to us, except experiencing it from our perspective. If there's any justice in the universe, here's looking at you, kid. So yeah, we're totally there with you, Vi. Mark is saying, happy to share that we processed, and we're ready, and we're pretty sure was our last trauma, deep and complicated, aren't they all? Last remnant of depression is completely gone now. Other than ASD, anxiety, we feel mentally healthy. That is great. Absolutely. That's hopefully. The sad fact hit us the other day that we really don't know how to be happy and have never, except with our grandparents, which is a really sad thing. So in addition to everything else, we're having to learn to let our guard down enough to learn to be happy and what it actually is, and not to be expecting that attack at any minute. And it feels really weird. But yeah, so man, that's great that you're finally able to experience that, and that's fantastic. Yay, gives us hope. So thank you for that. Reciprocity. Let's see. Everybody else saying that is great. Yes. Okay, let's see. Blue Rose is saying, we kind of wish we would go for the champagne, but anger is still a difficult emotion for us to feel because we've been taught that we don't have the right to it. Yeah. So we'd probably be kind of sad about everything they weren't and everything that didn't happen. Yeah, that's another excellent thought, is that we tend to more and more what the possibilities of what could have been than what actually was. And that in itself is a form of escapism, dissociation, if you will. But we feel you. Let's see. Mark's saying, also discovered Dark Night of the Soul, which so accurately describes the past 2 years of our processing since the flashbacks first started. Captain Kronos, our brains are so beautiful. I find it so disappointing that there are people out there who are trained as psychologists who deny generally anything. Basically, because that's not where the money is. The pharmaceutical companies is where the money is. Follow that buck. But we're there with you, Captain Kronos. Grace to Grow saying, not up to date on chat, but have seen recent literature suggesting both ADHD and some types of autism spectrum are also trauma-based condition. Think there's a lot of overlap. Oh yeah, absolutely. Would not be surprised whatsoever. Because data keeps up on the neurobiology. I mean, he's got like 2 different neurobiology sites that he reads all the time. It's like, I'm just like, hey, you do your thing. I'm gonna go take a coffee break or something. Though I'm never sure exactly where I go. But yeah, he keeps up on the neurobiology of the various mental states, and there's definite clear correlations between some things. So yeah, they are finally starting to do the research and to connect the dots. Here's hoping within the next 10, 20 years. Okay, so let's see here. Well, it's like we were discussing in was it the time memory in DID, where they've actually been able to pinpoint with the MRI results the changes in the brainwave states between the various alters, and use this along with an AI model to 78% accurately predict those who would have a dissociative condition and or DID. So there's actual data out there that suggests that this could be used as a diagnostic tool, where at some point in the future it may be, you go in, you have your brain scanned under certain conditions and whatnot. They run it through the machine algorithm, and it'll predict whether or not you've got trauma and where you might fall. At least, because there is that hard evidence out there for it. It's floating in various. Only now are they starting to put it all back together, and come to the conclusion that, van der Kolk and the others have been screaming at us since the 1980s. Thank you for that, man. Van der Kolk has helped so many people, more people than I think he realizes. The dude is just a genius. Seriously. Okay, so let's see. So yes, absolutely, Grace to Grow. Let's see. Awesome NB saying, I agree, Kronos. I don't understand how psychologists can deny a lot of things, especially things like DID. It's literally formed from trauma, and having to live with it, especially being a trauma holder yourself. Exactly. Chase is saying, oh boy, let me tell you, we had someone with the same views as a bad person, then took about a year or so before we got to see them for them. Alters for us can be shapeshifters, and they are one of them. Okay, yes, talking about the ones that are, excuse us, patterned after your abusers. Okay, Roses is saying that Grace to Grow seems to be the position of certain prominent trauma researchers. Van der Kolk, there we go. Yep, Naomi's saying, right, I grew up with either you don't have nothing, you're just lazy, or suck it up and you do work, or stop seeking attention all the time, otherwise you'll get attention from the belt. Guess what? That last sentence right there, particularly if it was, well, even if it wasn't applied, that's emotional abuse. Right there, Naomi. You got some trauma. It sounds like it. So, yeah. If you were beaten with a belt, that's abuse. That's abuse. At least in our book. Not a clinician or anything, but I think just about everybody here in the chat would agree that's abuse. We were spanked. Not with any, well, no, come to think of it, Egg Donor did a couple times, but anyway, he never did. With him, it was a matter of terror. It was dragged out psychological terror that culminated with the physical abuse and the pain that went on with it. But it was always it was sadistic. But yeah, if you were hit with a belt, that's physical abuse right there, child abuse. Okay, let's see. Captain Cronus is saying, I've just really came to mind within the COVID period over having some sort of ND after denying it because of my dad makes it easier in how to notice the things I got stuck on and what I need to work on. Yeah, and you're going to be peeling back that onion for quite a while, Captain Kronos. It's not an A to B journey. It's a continual, you're in the race now until death do us all part from our bodies, and it's finally over with. But we're working on it day by day by day. Okay, so let's see. Awesome Envy saying, I definitely agree, Grace. We were told not to get psychiatric evaluations for certain things, but also want to get tested for ADHD and autism because we definitely have a lot of symptoms and overlap. Yeah, and you will find that there, and this has been part of the difficulty for the medical community, has been there is so much comorbidity, which means conditions that apply to one condition or another. It's like, we start off with the PTSD and then we move to the CPTSD and the OSDD, and then you get the ID on the bottom, and each lower level gets all the symptoms of the above level. So there's a lot of overlap, and even between other conditions. So yeah, that's a common thing. Five pieces of nine. Sometimes I so wish that I remember that what I remember was a lie. Don't we all? That's what they told us it was. Turns out reality. Yeah, on topic of denial. No, we got you. Oh, let's see. Yes, Naomi. And sorry, we should have finished your comment. And I just found out a bit ago that this is also abuse. Yes. Yes, it is. Was, is. Let's see. Blue is saying same here, five. Vi is saying Trauma Doesn't Lie was a helpful series. We watched it too, and it gave us more evidence to bring up to battle the denial. We also have a short playlist of our experience of denial on our channel. Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to go on there and check it out. Let's see now. Blue Rose. Naomi, yes, absolutely. That is also the abuse. Awesome NB can relate to that, Naomi. We were never given a lot of attention growing up, and the parents literally just passed their trauma into us and having to work extra hard for things. We were alternately, get the hell away from us. Children are meant to be seen and not heard versus, oh, come over here and show how talented you are. As, mommy's bright little boy / girl, whatever. And mostly boy, because, people would talk. So let's see. Agreeing that it's abuse for Naomi. 420 Witch. Have to relearn how to be happy. I was happy before the man that died got in a relationship with my mom and did what he did to my home and mom. Yeah. Try to reach back on those positive memories. Captain Kronos, being happy and feeling normal is really weird feeling. Yes, laugh my ass off. Something that helps is knowing that happiness isn't constant and is an emotion that will come and go, just like sadness or anger. Awesome NB says, have watched the Trauma Doesn't Lie series, but tend to rewatch it when in that loop of denial during these times. We'll definitely be watching this series again. Thank you. Good. We're glad it's helping. Like I said, we rewatch it. It's if we got one good thing out of our therapy with that therapist, it was that phrase. That was a bombshell, and we wanted to pass it on to you guys because it was just like, duh. That and sexual abuse is physical abuse. Don't think that it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotionally abuse, because they all are tied together. And that was a real duh moment for us as well, because it's like you tend to separate them in your head, but they're actually the same thing. It's just different layers of disgusting icing. So yeah, we're glad that you've seen it, and it does help. Let's see, Kronos. Let's see, that's a good way to think about happiness and overall your emotions, because you're always told when depressed it gets better, but then you're going through it, it doesn't feel like it. And that might actually be part of the reason why we have a hard time identifying exactly what happy is, because we don't know what it is. We have to learn what it is first, and then we can use it to reach for. But other than that, it's just kind of an abstract concept. You see what we're saying? I hope you get the point. Anyway, let's see. Naomi's saying, yep, according to my therapist, he thinks I might have CPTSD. Yep. Listen to your therapist. Let's see. And we're going to guess that your husband's probably not too terribly supportive of this whole thing, or believe that, yeah, because you've mentioned that before. We're sorry. Yeah. Pia, hello. Hi, Ellie. We can still relate to having to learn to be happy. Hi, all. That was supposed to be. No, it's okay. Hello, Pia. Good that we saw you in there. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up soon, guys. The pain is really starting to ramp up, and we're kind of hitting the end of our energy reserves. So we're sorry if this is about a half hour shorter than our normal stream, but it's really starting to set in. The foot is starting to go. Maldwin, hello. All our favorite people are coming in right now. You're all our favorite people, but Captain Kronos, let's see here. Absolutely, as he said, it's a long-term learning thing. Everyone will need different ways to process and time to heal, even if it's just as simple as feeling comfortable in your own emotions. Exactly. Another thing that we have to learn to do, because that was no, you don't have emotions. You're a thing. Things don't have emotions or thoughts or feelings. So, yeah. Naomi, given that this was all I knew, I thought it was normal. The child who is in the situation knows nothing but the situation and will consider it normal. Yes. Until I talked about it during a session, and my therapist was kind of in shock that I told him that as if it were a normal thing, because it was a normal thing to you. It never entered your head that it wasn't, because you never experienced that. It's that lack of perspective and that separation of perspective that has been so important to our journey as well. It's normal. This happens to every kid, right? You know what? Your parents don't beat you when you go home for, like if you grab an apple without permission or something. But and it's like, and then that realization dawns, and you're like, oh, it's like, and then it hits you, and it's like, oh my god, and then the rage starts, and then it's back and forth and back and forth. So yeah, Naomi, it sounds like that realization has just finally kicked in. Um, but we are here. We're here to support you as we have been. Please keep in mind we have a very busy schedule. So if we don't answer a DM or whatnot, or we're not being deliberately rude or anything. It's just time. Uh, so yeah, but at least you have the therapist now, and you're definitely making progress because you've now made that realization. So you may not realize it, but you're already along that journey. So yay for you. You've just had one of many realizations that are ahead of you. Saying hello to Malden. Malden's doing okay. 420 has been diagnosed with CPTSD and still in the process of getting sent for BPT. Yeah. It's At least there's that. Yay. Let's see. Saying hi to Lude. Okay. Maldwin's saying, "Oh, dude, rest up. Get that rest." Yes, we will. We will. We will. It's just we know that you guys look forward to this and kind of see it as a safe space at the end of the month, and just kind of way to chat and share all of our experiences and get that feeling of community. Humans are social animals, and we've been trained that we're not human. So we need that contact and we need that support even more. But we can't ask for it, or are afraid to ask for it, or we've been trained that it's wrong, or that we don't have a right to those things. So, don't get us wrong. We're not going to get tied up in the whole, getting caught in the needs of our audience or anything. I don't know. It happens to other YouTubers. I don't know. We're still learning the whole biz. Uh, but we do still, want to provide that space for you guys, because we know how important it is to have something, to cling to. Like, basically, it's the same concept behind why we started the little stories. The littles need something that they can always go to and go, oh, this is a safe. I know what's going to happen. I know what I'm going to get here. Uh, it's that comfort. So, but thank you guys, and yes, we will as soon as we're done here. The fact that we mentioned it at all shows improvement, because otherwise, normally we would just power through and then at the end go, oh my god. So yes, let's see here. Well, thank you. This be the revised thing. We're going to head out now. It's good to see everyone. We're rooting for you with your challenges and struggles, and hope for plenty of resources and soothing moments for all of you. Hope you get better soon. We're going, okay, some rest, Chris and Co. And Vince. Hello there. Vince, and thank you very much. Yeah, those of you who need to get some rest, definitely, and sleep. For those of you who are in the other time zone, Blue Rose self-care time. Also, hey, Pete, I didn't mean to step over you, and you guys are all telling us to go get self-care. Naomi, never thought you were rude, or only they were maybe busy sleeping and family. Yeah, just that's basically it, thank you. We do enjoy and appreciate the community space you would provide here. It's going to be in a social group who get our day-to-day struggles for us, for sure. Yeah, and that's why we started. It's like, who in the hell is going to help us if we don't? It's like, hey, we're all here for each other. We've each got a part of the puzzle. This is what community is supposed to be. At least that's our thoughts, and we're glad that you guys also agree. Chase is saying, rest up, hope the foot starts throbbing. It's a lot better. It's before the surgery, it was a little dwarf taking a red hot poker and going in the back of our ankle, now he's got a pair of tweezers, but he's moved on to precision surgery, as it will. So improvement, we are getting stronger. We're not going to be able to walk again or start to learn to walk again anyway for about another month or so. We're getting better, but we know better than to try to push ourselves on that more than we already are. We don't like being immobile. Yes, absolutely. You're right, Pia. It is important. Okay, Naomi saying, remember that each and every one of you is valid, strong, wanted, enough, loved, unique, amazing, and deserve kindness, respect, and compassion. Lots of love from the Signet. Thank you, and we know that that's directed to everybody else as well. Awesome, man. Be saying, I enjoy this space you provide here. It's good to be social when you never really get that opportunity or too scared to interact with other. Social anxiety definitely sucks. Yeah, absolutely. Chase is saying we had that in our nose to stop nosebleeds. It didn't work too well. All right, thank you guys for your tuning into the chat, for your kind words on the channel, for being part of this great community that's growing spontaneously in and of itself. Not ours, it's yours. So we're going to go ahead and self-care. We still got dinner to cook in a couple hours, so we got to start figuring out what the heck that's going to be. So thank you guys. Love to you all. Happy Halloween all. We weren't able to find anything appropriate for Percival to read. I don't know. He's kind of been making half a noise about popping in unexpectedly and reading some poems. So maybe that might happen tomorrow. Like maybe a 10% chance. I don't know. But sometimes he just decides to go, I'm going to do this, whether you like it or not. So who knows? If not, happy Halloween to all of you guys. Thanks a lot. You have a great day and say it with us. You are loved. You are strong. And you are not alone. I'm Chris Data and the rest of us saying farewell. We'll catch you on the flip. We'll catch you on the flip side, guys. There we go. Have a great day, everybody, and happy Halloween.